under eye.
The circles.
So we have already cleansed and moisturized. Eye cream, we are using the Fast Response Eye Cream by MAC.
Description.
And when putting any eye cream or products around your eyes, always use your ring fingers because they apply the least amount of pressure. I'm going to go in and do your face before we do your eyes today. Normally, I would do eyes first if you're doing a dramatic eye. So I am going to prime her skin with the Becca Backlight Priming Filter because we are going for an all-over dewy, glowy, everyday look. Quick and easy, we're just going to do a little, start with a little under eye correcting. Anytime you have any darkness, look up. You're going to want to use a little bit of a peach corrector, and you can do this anywhere around your face. It'll help cancel out any darkness that you have. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter, waterproof long wear. So it's a little bit thicker, gives you a lot more coverage, but I'm going to thin that out with the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops.
Okay.
And these are in the shade Celestial, so I'll take a drop of that and mix that into the foundation.
Do you tend to mix foundations for your clients?
Yeah, it just depends too, like what they're looking for.
Because sometimes it's really hard to find a foundation that really matches your skin tone too,
Right.
you know.
So this one has a little bit of like a pink undertone. So I'm going to grab something a little bit lighter. I'm mixing in the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation, which is awesome. This on an IT Cosmetics foundation brush.
Do you like to use brushes or blenders, like a beauty blender for foundation, or both?
I use both. Depends on the skin and like the look we're going for. The brush is gonna, I feel like sometimes the beauty blender shears it out a little more than I want. So it depends, like if you want something super sheer,
Yeah.
you can use, you know, your beauty blender.
Especially sometimes it removes a lot and soaks it in the
soaks up the
product.
Yeah. Or circles. If we were doing something like for a photo shoot or red carpet or something along those lines, make sure if you're doing this, any artist, you bring that foundation like up onto the ears and down the neck, and you always want to look blended. Oh, the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, which I actually just tried for the first time and I love it. I'm wearing it today.
What is it?
ColourPop.
Oh, ColourPop.
No Filter Concealer. You can get this at Ulta. I love it. It's not as thick as the Shape Tape. You do have to set it, but for the most part, I love the finish. I've been wearing it since like 5 a.m. today.
Wow.
So
it looks really good.
Thanks. So we're going to go ahead and get at the under eyes. And I'm also going to just do a little bit down the nose. Around the nose, women tend to get very red around your nose. That's hormonal. A little bit on the forehead and the chin, just for a little extra coverage in those areas. And I'm going to take my beauty blender and just kind of buff that in. Make sure your beauty blender is damp. And I'm also going to take this close and bring it up onto the eyelid a little bit. So this is where you can do this with your foundation or your concealer. Again, it just gives it that seamless look. Okay.
And you also give like private makeup classes, don't you?
I do. So if anybody wants to know how to do stuff, any kind of specific look. So I am going to go in with a little bit of the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder and just set under the eye for the time being. And down the bridge of the nose, just kind of in those areas that get a little bit shiny. Now I'm going to go in and do some bronzing on her face. I am using the Chanel Cream Bronzer. Now when it comes to using cream bronzers...
Yeah, tell me your technique, because sometimes it's very tricky with cream.
Right. You want to always do creams. Don't do any powders over creams. Your creams will always go on before you powder, which is why we powdered only her under eye area, because we are not putting any bronzer, obviously, in that section of her face. but I find the cream bronzers and blushes work very nicely if you are dry. I'm just going in and coming down her cheek, and start off small. If you're not used to bronzer, do a very light amount on your brush, and you can always build on the hairline, contour, where you find shadows, highlight where the light naturally hits your face. So now that the cream products are all on that we're using, I'm going to go in with a powder bronzer just to kind of set where we put that cream bronzer. I'm using the Hula bronzer from Benefit.
It's my favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And I'm just going to go in lightly on top of where we put that cream bronzer.
So Alyssa, how long have you been doing makeup professionally, or not even, you know?
Like professionally, probably about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
As my sole main job,
Yes.
my career. But about like 9 or so years that I've really been playing with it and doing it on the side, and but yeah, it's my main job now. It's been about 5 years, and I love it. And I'm self-taught.
That's awesome.
And I've taken, you know, master classes and stuff, and you learn something new every day. But came down and contoured her nose a little with that bronzer, and I'm just taking the Beauty Blender and going in and just kind of blending that all together. Again, on the face as well. I have my own company, and I also do TV, so I do NBC Sports. Alright, and I'm adding a little bit of MAC Spring Sheen just on the apples and brushing a little bit of a highlighter. This is a very good everyday highlighter by Laura Mercier. This is in the shade, the Face Illuminator in Addiction. And I like to do a little bit of a C, so up above the eyebrow.
Like on the temple, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you tend to have breakouts in certain areas, this is going to enhance it. So,
Stay away.
I'm using the Becca Opera Ski palette, which is beautiful. And these are the colors in here, if you can see that. And then accentuating it a little bit past the eye. And we're using the Milk Makeup Kush Mascara. And I'm going to go in and just look down for me.
And your lashes are super long too, so they'll be like, phew.
Now, I'm very picky about my mascara and like how my lashes look. Like, I will do multiple coats, multiple layers on my eyes. But that's just me. You don't have to do that. Okay. We're going to go ahead on the bottom lashes as well. Really don't have to do much to them. You can use a powder or a pencil depending your discretion. I'm going to go in with just a little bit of powder and fill in any little sparse areas. My go-to is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. Now, just a little finish. Also add a little bit of that highlighter to the inner corner of the eye.
I love that trick. It really brightens up the whole eyes.
Yeah.
And when you running about, you know, and it just makes a huge difference in the eye when you have like that little inner sparkle in your inner corners. I love it.
And we could even use something a little bit lighter than that highlighter. I'm going to go back in the Becca palette and use like this white, like frosty. For a very neutral lip, I'm going to go in with the Kylie Jenner Bare Lip Liner. So for the lip, after I line, I like to fill in with that liner as well. And then I'm going in with the Lancome, and this is the shade number 202.
It's okay.
It's number 202.
202.
Yeah. That's the final look.
I hope you love it. Thank you so much for coming.
You are so welcome.
For
Thank
my channel.
you.
And hopefully you guys are gonna request some more looks from...
Let us know.
Yeah.
We'll be down
from Alyssa, and we'll definitely film more looks if you guys are interested. So thanks so much for coming in.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.